What's happening, people? Welcome back to the upper tier. It's Tuesday morning. We have another drive time Tuesday morning for you. Going to discuss some football news and transfers, all that kind of good stuff. But first of all, a little bit of housekeeping. If you subscribe to the channel, on the way, nearly at 900 subscribers, hoping to hit the 1,000 before the season starts. So if you could share the content, share the channel, get it out there, get a few people to subscribe to it and stuff like that, we'd be forever grateful. Obviously hit a like on the video as well, and of course hit that bell notification to notify you when we go live. Just to let you know, tonight we'll be back again. I think at 7:30 it is. A little bit of more pro wrestling where we do our dark side of the ring review. This time it's on the man himself, JYD, the Junkyard Dog. Again, another kind of tragic episode and stuff like that. It's a shame. Man who had the world at his feet and it all went away just over inner demons, as they say. But we'll get into that tonight anyway. Another pro wrestling podcast coming to you tonight, 7:30. But today we're going to be talking football. We're on the way into work. It's another glorious morning here in Ireland. I hope you've had a good start to the week. I had a great start to the week yesterday. The car actually passed its NCT, or I think if you're in the UK it's an MOT test or something like that, but it passed it. I was expecting them to have one or two issues, but it didn't, so we got off to an absolute flyer. Let's get into the football. Liverpool looking to bring in Romeo Lavia from Southampton in a deal worth between 40 and 50 million. Great relationship there between Liverpool and Southampton in terms of transfer business. So let's see what happens there. But it looks like what it has caused is Arsenal are now looking towards Early and Tchouaméni. Massive transfer that would be for them. What a stroke that would be if Arsenal could bring in Tchouaméni as well. We know that they're looking at that midfield and stuff like that. Partey potentially going, Granit Xhaka potentially going out the door. Also for a cut price, 13 million I believe, which is an absolute steal for the boy, going to Bayer Leverkusen. But let us know your thoughts on both those, the way they're kind of connected. We know Arsenal was in for Lavia as well, but have Lavia's representative spoke to Arsenal and said, look, the boy wants to go to Liverpool. That's what he wants to do. So where does that leave you? And let us know your thoughts. Roy Hodgson looks like he's staying at Crystal Palace. Going to have a lot of work to do this season. We're hearing that Wilfried Zaha has had a number of offers and has agreed a number of deals with a number of clubs, now trying to make up his mind. Also has a huge offer on the table from Crystal Palace, somewhere in the region of 200 grand a week over a 4-year period, which is a massive deal for a club like Crystal Palace. But will it be enough when he has deals lined up elsewhere, including Saudi Arabia? Let us know your thoughts on this, Palace fans. Poch has arrived at Chelsea. The Poch era has begun. Gave his first interview there, I think, took his first training session as well. We're getting real close to pre-season now. A lot of teams still with a lot of business to do. We're going to be talking about it in a few minutes. But pre-season is practically upon us, which means you're going to see some scheduled pre-season games coming up in the next 10 to 14 days. So let's see what happens there. But Poch gave his first interview talking about how Chelsea's been the most successful team in the Premier League over the last 15 to 20 years or whatever it was. Can't argue with that based on the trophies and stuff like that. But setting the bar high and stuff like that. Interesting to see what way the Chelsea team will look. Really looking forward to it. Obviously Liverpool played them at the Bridge first day of the season. It's the first Super Sunday as far as I know, and it'll be interesting to see what that lineup looks like. That's going to be a very, very different Chelsea looking lineup. Be interesting to compare it actually. I'm thinking somewhere in the region of about maybe eight changes, maybe 9 changes even from the team that started on the last day of the season. It'd be interesting to compare the two when it comes out. That'd be a bit of fun and stuff like that. But we're off and running with the Poch era. Let's see how that goes with Chelsea. Surely they're going to bring in a few boys with the level of players that are going out the door, and more still to be confirmed. No doubt another 2-3 players might go out the door this week as well. Chelsea absolutely revamping that squad as the Poch era begins. Rio Ferdinand has been suggesting that Qatar have placed their final bid on United. I don't know what you guys think about this whole takeover thing. I'm intrigued by it. I like looking into the news on it every day and stuff like that, but it's for United fans, the anxiety must be off the Richter and stuff like that. I mean, this should have been done back in, I would suggest, probably April or May, to give it 2 months or 6 weeks to 8 weeks for due diligence to cross the T's and dot the I's and all that kind of stuff, the fit and proper tests and everything goes on, and then they could have springboarded into the transfer window and picked up the targets that Ten Hag wants, because it seems every week that goes by there's a new target that's going by and going to another club. They're missing out on some fabulous signings at the moment. Whether they're in for them or not is debatable and stuff like that. We're hearing a lot of the time they've been looking at them, but it looks like now they've been linked with Amrabat, which is an interesting one to be linked with. We know the boy had a fantastic World Cup. He was arguably statistically one of the best midfielders in the World Cup there back in November and stuff like that. He's a fabulous player and stuff like that. But is he the player that United are looking for at the moment? Or is he the successor to Casemiro, or what way is that going to work and stuff like that? So it's an interesting dynamic there. We know that the boy Mason Mount is coming in and stuff like that. I think the medical is booked and all that kind of thing. He's going to be a United player. A deal worth 55 million and 5 million in add-ons. Again, we'll have to figure out how is Mason Mount going to play, where is he going to play and what's he going to do. That's going to be very, very interesting as well. But there's a kind of a balance there at United at the moment. Very frustrating, I'm sure, for Ten Hag and for the fans. Trying to get players out the door. We know there's a laundry list of players they want out the door. Maguire, McTominay, Fred, Martial. These are all difficult players to get out the door if you want to bring in any level of business for them and stuff like that. But they're kind of problem childs as well, and kind of holding up kind of what you want coming in the door as well. But you would expect United this month now to be making some moves to bring some players in and stuff like that. The difficulty, I think, will really be getting the players out the door, because they're on decent wage, especially Martial and Maguire at least, and probably Fred's on good money as well. It's going to be hard to find homes for them on that level of wage. And will those boys be willing to take a pay cut? Are those boys more concerned about getting playing time? We know some of them are internationals and stuff like that. Maguire seems to get his English playing time regardless of whether he's playing or not. But for the likes of Fred and Scott McTominay, it's probably critical as well, you know. Scott has been a part of the squad last season in some respects, but probably not enough for him himself. But again, he'll probably play for Scotland anyway. But interesting times ahead. Let us know your thoughts on that as well. It's a really, really interesting situation at the moment that's unfolding at United. We also know that we're getting a lot of real good news for us Irish fans over here of the Irish Republic. A lot of our players now are starting to step into teams that are Premier League level and stuff like that. Now, whether they get their game time or not, it remains to be seen. But a number of them. So the latest one is Nathan Collins. Nathan Collins is after moving from Wolves, and he's moved to Brentford. Great move for the boy. Obviously, he was very, very good at Wolves as well. Was unlucky earlier in the season, picked up an injury as well, and also got a suspension. But other than that, he was having a fabulous season at Wolves. Now moving to Brentford in a deal worth somewhere in the region of 23 million. I think that's a great deal for Brentford, if I have to be honest with you. He was having a really, really good season last year at Wolves. And well worth the 23 million. But it's great to see some of those Irish players now getting into the Premier League and stuff like that, and applying their trade there and hopefully getting game time. Collins obviously was doing it already, and of course when you look at Ireland play, he's been one of the standout players. So typically playing in the Premier League obviously raises that level. So great move for the boy. Good to see him going to Brentford. I'm sure he's going to absolutely shine under Thomas Frank. Exceptional coach there at Brentford. So let's see what happens there. Bayern Munich look like they're not going to be backing off the Kane pursuit. Looks like they're still all in on Harry Kane. Let's see how that progresses. That's sure to be interesting as well. But it looks like they want their man, and they're not backing off until they get him. So let's see what happens there. But you know, Levy is holding firm on it. He isn't going to let go of his prize asset, even though the thoughts of losing him next year for free is going to be a killer for them. But let's see what happens there as well. What else do we want to talk about? One of United's targets at the moment, Onana, it looks like Al Nassr have come in as well from Saudi Arabia, interested in securing the service of the boys. So it'll be interesting. United, if they really want Onana, they're going to have to make moves quickly. We know they've also been linked with a move for the Fiorenor goalkeeper as well, but it looks like Fiorenor don't want to let him go. So again, just a little bit of struggle there for United and trying to put some pieces together. I'm sure Ten Hag is working long days at the moment trying to figure out how to pull the squad together and try and get people out the door and get people in. It's a real challenge for them at the moment in this market. Gerrard was appointed manager of Al Etafik. There, I think, was it yesterday or Saturday it was confirmed. Sorry, Sunday I think it was confirmed actually. He's looking to bring in Aubameyang, Coutinho, and he's also interested in Jordan Henderson. Now, I wanted to talk about this Jordan Henderson situation. A lot of people being fairly disrespectful of Jordan Henderson on social media. It's a real difficult conundrum there at the moment with Jordan Henderson. What I would say to Liverpool fans, and I'm one myself, and not only am I one myself, I'm one myself that's been highly critical of Jordan Henderson at times. Give the guy the respect that he deserves. The guy is a legend of the club. He's a captain of the club, and he's also lifted everything for us in the last number of years and stuff like that. So give Jordan Henderson the respect that he deserves. Whether you feel he's capable of playing anymore or just being a bit par player or whatever it is, whether you feel he should or shouldn't be captain or whatever it is, give the guy the respect whether he's going out the door or not. For me, I think this would be a great move for Jordan Henderson. It's probably going to be his last big money move, so it'd be great for him to go in there and get a real good financial deal that sets him up for life. Also, he's going to get a lot more game time over there than I think he will with Liverpool going forward. I think with Liverpool going forward, I think he'll be more of a squad player and stuff. There has been suggestions this summer that he's kind of going to move into the James Milner role and stuff like that. Now, last year we seen the James Milner role was more game time than ever, but that was mainly through injuries and stuff like that and all that kind of thing. But give the captain the respect that he deserves. Whether you want him to stay or you don't want him to stay, we're Liverpool Football Club, and there's a level of respect that should be, adhered to there. Let's not lose our minds in terms of degrading down a captain for us who's been absolutely sensational over the last, especially during the Jurgen Klopp era and stuff like that. Champions League, Premier League, domestic cups, World Club Cups, Super Cups, all that kind of stuff. Give him the respect that he deserves. I also see people losing their mind over Steven Gerrard taking the job at Saudi Arabia and all. Again, I can't understand that as well. Lads burning jerseys and all this kind of thing. All I can say to those people, look, if your opinion is about this moral compass and all this kind of thing, I get it. If that's what you want to stand by and that's your opinion, I respect it. But what I would say is, if you're going to take the line of moral compass at the moment in the footballing world, I think you need to find a new sport to follow, because this is going to ratchet up even more and more and more. You're going to see over the next period of time more teams getting state-owned, more teams being taken over, and all that kind of thing. We spoke about it on a podcast a few weeks ago and all stuff like that, the English game is losing the kind of Englishness of it, if you like, and stuff like that. That's just the reality of how sports develops and stuff like that. And let's be honest, you're up against something like Saudi or Qatar or Abu Dhabi or places like that who have absolutely, uncalculable wealth and stuff like that. So you're going to have to accept that football is developing in a certain way. And maybe you look at it and go, maybe it's not for you anymore, because if you're going to beat that drum, like if there's guys out there at the moment burning Steven Gerrard shirts over him taking a job in Saudi Arabia, I don't think football is for you anymore. I think you need to actually find something else to follow. Totally respect if you want your moral compass. Find it very hard to respect anyone who burns a football jersey from a legend of your club. That's a kind of a weird, extreme kind of place to go, to be honest. But again, let us know your thoughts on it. I could say it both ways, but I just really think if that's where you lie in terms of your moral compass and stuff, fine. Don't follow football. Football is definitely not for you. We'll finish up with one other piece of news. Inter Milan, I think they've been sniffing around the Lukaku deal, but I don't think they're going to come in anywhere near the valuation that Chelsea want. Ultimately, I think Big Rom will end up in Saudi Arabia, because I think Chelsea will want their cheddar off that deal. He's sitting on their books at whatever it is, 90 million or whatever it is, and they can't afford to degrade that down. They need to get close to that, if not, probably above 70 anyway, to 75 would it take to get them off the books and stuff like that. So let's see how that develops there. But I do think, realistically, looking at Inter's finances and everything else, I think the only home and the only option left for Romelu Lukaku is to head off to Saudi Arabia if there's an offer there. That's it, folks. That's everything I have to cover this morning. It's a short enough show. As I said to you already, United trying to find the balance and the struggles there between ins and outs and stuff like that, while the market continues really struggling to land some of their targets and stuff like that are being swallowed up now by other clubs. I did say at the start of the transfer window, it's quite condensed in terms of the names and the bodies that are out there that the top teams want. And I did say, like, if you talk about the transfer window, I spoke about it with Darren as well, there's only about 12 to 15 names out there in terms of players that people are talking about at the top level that they want. And a lot of these players are currently getting signed up by teams at the moment. But again, let us know your thoughts on that. Always let us know your thoughts on your team, what business it's doing. Are you happy with the business that it's doing? Who do you want in? Who do you want out? We're hearing as well that Daniel Farke may be appointed Leeds manager. Let us know your thoughts on that, Leeds fans. Obviously a disappointing season, getting relegated and all that. What players do you want in and out? Which would be interesting to see, push to get back out of the championship this season. As always, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and of course drop a like on the video, and we'll talk to you again real soon.